Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. The Blastoff is real, and I know y'all have been refreshing whatever the hell app you're using to see what the latest price is like every 5 seconds. And I've been doing a little bit of that too. It's fun, just enjoy the excitement. It's fine to do that. But I'll say this, with any luck, we'll have our Lambos on the moon very soon. And I'll also say, you know, I do not expect XRP to hit a new all-time high unless Bitcoin hits a new all-time high first. So I want to continue the discussion with what's been discussed pretty widely within the community lately. I made a video yesterday I was talking about when I want to expand upon it because I have additional perspective here from reputable individuals. And it's on the topic of, okay, are we actually going to top out here closer to $50,000 for Bitcoin, which leads the market? And this is crucial because, again, if we want to see XRP hit a new all-time high, we need to see a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Are we going to be topping off here and then cratering back down for however long, whether it's a year or two or whatever it is? Or is this a super cycle and we're just going to blaze it and just rip onto the upside, hit new all-time highs, ultimately see XRP hit its all-time high and surpass it and enter price discovery? Now, the good news as far as I'm concerned is even if there were a delay of a year or two, I'm patient AF. I will outpatient anybody, okay? I will outpatient anybody. So if that's what it takes, I'll just be here. But personally, if I had to guess, and look, nobody knows for sure, my suspicion at this point is that this isn't going to be the top. I understand, and I've seen from chart analysts that I respect tremendously, and they can be right, that they think it's even probable that we're going to be moving to the downside and that's it, and then you know, maybe a comeback, whatever the amount of time to be after that, whether it's a year or whatever. My suspicion is actually that we're going to be seeing a move to the upside, and there are some very good reasons for this, which I want to highlight here. But because again, look, whatever you hold, whatever your favorite cryptocurrency is, whatever is going to provide you, whatever you're counting on anyway, providing you life-changing wealth, just know if Bitcoin doesn't lead the way, it ain't happening. With rare exception, there are some outlier instances where yes, coins have popped. I remember, like, I think it was the summer of 2019. Pretty much nothing was going, but I think that was the summer that Chainlink took off out of nowhere. So there are outliers. Like, I've seen them over the years. I've been here over 6 years. I've seen some instances, but it's not something that we can reasonably count on. So anyway, all that to say, but I'm optimistic that we're going to be moving higher. I mean, hell, we just saw Bitcoin at over $44,000 today. Now, at the time I'm recording this, XRP's at 62 cents, Bitcoin's at 43,763 bucks, Crypto Fear and Greed Index 72 out of 100. So people feeling pretty damn greedy here. And to the point, let's cut to the chase, because that's what I want this whole video to be about. What is actually going to happen? What is reasonable? Because there's a lot of suspicion from, at least from some, that you know, like I said, upper 40-something thousand range for Bitcoin. That's it. It's all she wrote. Crater on back on down. Now that's actually a minority opinion, but sometimes minority opinions are correct. Are correct. So I pay attention. But here's what Credible Crypto had to say. One of my favorite analysts out there with his 356,500 followers on social media platform X, and he wrote the following: people keep trying to time the top with shorts and or profit taking because they believe the rally is overheated. Guys, look at the data. There is literally nothing overheated about this rally. We simply keep sending it till every last bear is dead. Now, as we go further, I'm going to share with you perspective from others who share that sentiment and say, no, there's really seriously nothing overheated about this. Like, retail's not even here. Like, seriously, it's not. It's just, it's driving and pretty much nobody's paying attention. Which is crazy to think. Because if, like, I was here in late 2017, the amount of mania, the euphoria in crypto, and Bitcoin topped at $20,000. Like, now, there's, like, arguably, there's no euphoria here. I mean, people are excited. I'm excited. I hope you're having fun and you feel a bit of excitement. We should enjoy this. But there's no mania here. You know? There's no euphoria. We're not there yet. I don't see enough like, are there any celebrities that have jumped back in yet? I can't think of one off the top of my head anyway. And then there's this separate post which I thought was funny. And this is from this afternoon. Credible Crypto wrote, "The melt up." Get it? Instead of the meltdown? He says, "The melt up, molten, melted bear strewn about like furry brown puddles." Gross. I'm for it. There's this post from on-chain analyst Will Clemente, And check this. Now, this is interesting. This is really telling here. Bitcoin trading, $43,000, and this is what Google search trends for Bitcoin look like. There will be nasty corrections along the way, but this is not euphoria. Now that, I think he is correct about. I mean, look at this chart. It goes back to 2018. And this is just, it's Google searches, you know? It searches, Google searches for Bitcoin. And if you look to where we are right now, where I'm circling, this is not mania. This is not a blow off top, yet we broke past $44,000 today. And he shared this post this afternoon, 12:13 p.m. Central Time. There's no like euphoria. Like there's been a blast off. I mean, it just, what, a couple weeks ago, we were in the upper 20,000s for Bitcoin. Now we blaze past 44,000. And yes, of course, there will be corrections along the way. But we had that happen without the masses coming in. And so that's why, like, you know, you can't always just look at one thing necessarily, or one category of metrics and know with a high level of confidence what's going to happen. So like even the chart analysts that I respect, who are really good at what they do, and there are some that are really, really good at what they do. When you listen, so like listen to what they have to say. I've been sharing perspectives on this channel, but then look at this. So if it's probable that we're going to be moving to the downside for anybody that thinks that, and maybe they're right, I don't pretend to know for sure. When have we seen this in history? Because look, like I said, I've been here over 6 years. Off the top of my head, I cannot recall a time where we had Bitcoin blaze up, you know, this percentage of, you know, this percent of gains over this type of period of time. But, you know, the retailers aren't here propping it up, and then it just ends. I just, if there's something maybe I'm just not recalling something over the last 6 years. I don't think it's happened though. At least not during the time I've been in crypto. Can you think of any? If you can, then let me know. Maybe I'm just unaware or my mind's blanking right now. I can't think of a time right here as I'm recording this video where we had Bitcoin rocket up like this, and then like this is just it. You know, just there's no mania, because when you see the mania, yeah, okay. So then the retailers are in, they are the exit liquidity, and things fizzle out. Okay. We're not there. That's not happening. So if this really is the end, or we're about at the end, okay, I'll admit, like, I'll be surprised if that's the case, but I also acknowledge, like, I don't know for sure. I'm just a dude on the internet. I don't know. Nobody knows though. That's the thing. Nobody knows. I'm just really upfront about it. But that's why I'm saying I'd be surprised. This is a key reason that I'm telling you I would be surprised. So if I had to guess, you know, there will be corrections, of course, but still, if you fast forward a year from now, I think that from this moment, what's most probable, and could be wrong, I think you're going to see Bitcoin continue to rip to the upside. Eventually, at some point, I don't know how long it's going to take, hit a new all-time high, and then XRP goes. Because look, XRP's never hit a new all-time high without Bitcoin hitting an all-time high first. And XRP historically lags behind the market, so however long we got to wait, fine. But we have never been closer. And again, it's a shame because we would have seen that in 2021, I firmly believe, but not for the SEC doing their nonsense SEC stuff. Well, we don't need to get into that in this video. So we've had to wait, but XRP actually has legal clarity. It's not going to be suppressed like it was in 2021. When if it's going to go, it's going to go. And if Bitcoin goes, then yes, XRP is going to go. I feel like that's a virtual certainty. I could not be more positive about XRP. And it better, because that's my favorite crypto. It's my largest individual holding by a lot. So I'm definitely counting on it. Like, that's a huge part of what I'm counting on for my crypto life-changing wealth. I'm just saying, that's a huge part of it, admittedly. There's also this post from on-chain analyst Will Clemente, who wrote, "There will be corrections along the way, but zooming out, Bitcoin is far from overvalued based on historic readings. Just getting warmed up for what's to come over the next 12 to 18 months. And so there you go. He's using on-chain analytics rather than just doing technical analysis, and he's coming to a particular conclusion that this thing doesn't even almost look overheated. It's going to keep ripping to the upside. And while, again, nobody knows for sure, it's reasonable for him to state what he's stating. This is perfectly reasonable. Now take a look at this from the Daily Huddle. Bitcoin bull market not yet overheated as Bitcoin forms negative correlation with stock market, CryptoQuant CEO. The co-founder and CEO of CryptoQuant says that Bitcoin is in a bullish trend that still has gas left in the tank, despite the king crypto suddenly smashing through $43,000. Ki-Young Ju tells his 327,800 followers on the social media platform X that based on an aggregate of key metrics used by CryptoQuant, Bitcoin has more upside potential, quote, where in the bull market, thankfully not an overheated bull market, end quote. The analyst says that Bitcoin has flipped into a negative correlation with the S&P 500 index, which he suggests indicates the king crypto is acting more as a store of value like gold rather than a risk-on tech stock. Quote, Bitcoin entered a negative correlation with the S&P 500. It's not a tech stock anymore. It's the digital gold, end quote. All right, I'm not convinced of that yet. I think that there's too much limited data at this point to come to such a strong conclusion. I've seen other brief periods in time where people have made the same or similar arguments over the last 6 years. It's never been the case. It has been the case that Bitcoin and crypto continues to move in tandem with equities, and they're treated as risk-on assets. Is this the moment in time where it's different? Well, no, he's looking over a really short period of time. So if he's right, great, and maybe that does happen in the future. If this is the moment, fine. I'd just be kind of surprised, to be honest with you. But it's too short a time period to be considering this to be a sustainable trend here. So I'm willing to be let more time pass, and if it actually stays like that, and we see other big moves, and crypto asset classes doing different stuff than equities in general, okay, and that's plausible. That could happen in the future anyway. Like, it's not a guarantee that this crypto asset class is always going to be treated by speculators and investors the same way in the future that it is being treated today while it's still in its nascency. And I do consider it to be in its nascency, even though it's almost 15 years old. This is going to be a really long, like a decades-long journey, just to get it to the point where it's mature. But anyway, so that part I'm not as convinced on, but the rest of what he's saying, I'm pretty well in agreement with him. Anyway, Peace continues. Jew says, the official start of the current Bitcoin bull market cycle began back in August when crypto whales started aggressively going long near the $29,000 mark. Quote, whale traders opened giga-long positions at $29,000, end quote. Yeah, and so if you want to argue that that's when the bull market started, okay. Because, if we're going to argue about whether the bull market has started or hasn't started or when it started, it's like, what's the litmus test? That's why so many people have different perspectives about what it is. What is the authority that is in charge, and what criteria have they set to determine if something is or isn't a bull market? As it turns out, there's actually, in the real life, a lot of subjectivity to that. So people will subjectively state that it is or isn't in a bull market. So from his perspective, that's when the bull market started. But even if we were to cede that point and say that's true, it's undeniable that the bullish moves started more like a year ago, when Bitcoin and the crypto asset class bottomed out at the end of 2022. That's when things turned bullish. So they've been bullish for a good year at this point. So if you want to say technically the bull market started fine, well, then it's more of like a semantics definition type of argument there. Okay, whatever. But yeah, obviously things have picked up a bit since that particular point and fairly quickly. Peace continues. The analyst also suggests that another reason to remain bullish on Bitcoin is that retail investors have yet to significantly return to the crypto markets with their liquidity, meaning larger players won't be able to efficiently exit their positions. And folks, I've seen multiple people point this out, and it's just based on data. They are correct about this. It's just a matter-of-fact statement here. And so here's his quote. Retail traders, the exit liquidity, have yet to join the market, end quote. And folks, that is exactly what you want to see. So, all things considered, I'm looking at what technical analysts are saying. Most think that Bitcoin's going to continue to rip to the upside. And so then you can also look at other metrics, like, are the retailers here? No. I mean, the ones that were here before things started moving to the upside were here. But where's the massive inflow of new human? Where's the fresh blood? You know what I'm saying? Not so much here. Definitely not so much here. Yes, there are more people paying attention than before, but it's not... You saw the Google search for Bitcoin. You know what happens when euphoria hits. We are not there. So that's why my for fun guess is that even though there are going to be corrections along the way, and there could be substantial ones, nah, we ain't seen the top. That's my guess, and I could be wrong. But I don't pretend to know for sure. Like, I'm just being really upfront. Like, I don't know. I'm not like a prediction guy. I'm not a chart guy. But just looking at the data that's presented from other people that are like opinions I respect, intelligent people, and then just straight up data, yeah, I don't think it's reasonable to suppose that that's what we're going to be seeing here. And keep in mind that it's normal to have massive pullbacks, even in bull cycles, even leading up to euphoria, of like, even with Bitcoin, over 30% drops. That is historically normal. So if we see those, which we could, it doesn't necessarily, even when we're over 30% down, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's over. I mean, it could, but it doesn't necessarily, that in and of itself doesn't necessarily indicate that. That's what I'm saying here. There is an analyst here who thinks that, yeah, we could be seeing some downside action. And so I don't want to read this whole thing, but I just wanted to point out this perspective, which is not the mainstream perspective, but it comes from one of the most popular analysts out there named Benjamin Cowan. I think he's got like over, yeah, it says it here, 788,000 subscribers on YouTube. So one of the most popular crypto analysts on the planet, I think it's fair to say. And he thinks that Bitcoin could dip should it hit, about $48,000. And he gives it, I don't want to give the technical, like the TA types of information in Fibonacci. It's on your screen if you actually want to pause and read it. I don't think it's necessary for the purposes of this video, and I try to stay out of that type of stuff as much as possible. But he does think that it's quite possible that we're going to be seeing a move to the downside. So I just want to share, diverse opinions, and we'll see, and then we'll give credit to whoever's right, and then we will shame whoever's wrong, right? Great shame. I kid. But no, there's reason to be optimistic. Have fun with this, folks. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. This is a blast. Like, my net worth has been going up dramatically lately. Yours is too, I bet, right? Unless you're getting in and out of positions and getting eaten up, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Many of you listening are going through that. But that's why for me, I'm at no risk of that because I don't sell unless I want to sell, and then I'm just out, and then I'm out until another bear market comes. Like, that's it. That's I set a rule for myself. That's that. I will not be a victim of my own stupidity because I have strict rules in place to prevent that. And then if I miss out on potential upside, so be it. I don't care. I want these protections for myself. I am forcing myself. Like, once I sell, it's going to be because it's a high level. I'm not going to put it in anything else. It's going off into traditional finance or whatever. I'll go buy something or blow it all on hats. Just whatever. It'll be maybe some really fancy hats. It'll be just a blasty blast, right? But I'm definitely not going to be putting it back into some other coins, even if I think it's highly probable that they're going to blast off. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to ensure that I have profit. I've been doing this over 6 years, and yes, when I take that profit, I'm going to ensure that I keep it by not putting it back in. Period. Like, that's it. For better or worse, that's what I'm doing. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.